in this trial we've got 5 treatments. The first treatment is sort of our standard, so what we've done, we're sort of looking, I guess, at the lowest level of management. So what we've done is we've gone for a target of about 25 plants per square foot. The variety is Brandon. In this trial, we haven't applied any fungicide or any plant growth regulator. The fertility we've gone with is we've pushed the nutrient levels a little bit on this field. Typically, the rest of the plots we're getting about a 95 pounds per acre of nitrogen, around 20-25 pounds of phos, 10 pounds of potassium, and 10 pounds of sulfur. In this, we're trying to push things a little bit higher, so we went with about 115 pounds of nitrogen banded with about 25 pounds of phosphorus, 10 pounds of potassium, and 10 pounds of sulfur. So again, no fungicide or plant growth regulator applied with this one. Moving to the next plot, the next set of treatments is the Trivapro, which is Syngenta's fungicide. Trivapro came out a couple of years ago. It is a group 3, 7, and 11, actually a fairly high-end fungicide. And so again, just hopefully comparing the benefits of using the fungicide. This year, for whatever reason, we don't have a lot of disease pressure, which is odd because this was seeded on wheat stubble. We would anticipate that we would have had more wheat diseases, but it is what it is. So we'll move on to the next one. So this is Modus. This is Syngenta's new PGR. It's not registered yet, but it'll be coming out next year. One of the newer PGRs on the market. A little bit different mode of action and a little bit different than some of the other PGRs. This does go on at growth stage 31, 32. If you look across, you're not really seeing a major height difference between the untreated and where we've applied the PGR. About a week after application, we noticed about a 3 to 4 inch difference, but at this point we aren't seeing the massive difference in height. Now, the thing that they'll tell you about Modus is actually works a little differently in that it thickens the stem. So by applying it at that growth stage 31, 32, the idea is you build a thicker stem at the base, which will actually support the plant. So it acts a little bit different than just shortening the straw to prevent lodging. Next set of treatments is basically Modus with Trivapro. Again, now we're applying a PGR plus a plant growth regulator. And the other thing I forgot to mention is we've upped the ante on the fertilizer treatment. The base treatment was 115 pounds, 25 pounds, 10, 10. So to go for protein, they often recommend that you go in and top dress at flag leaf to heading. And so that's what we did, is we applied 30 pounds of Anvol treated urea at 30 pounds of actual nitrogen per acre to bring up the fertility to actually 145 pounds of nitrogen to see if we can boost the protein levels, you know, in the crop. The other thing, if you notice, if you look at the plots, you'll see we've got 3 replicates on the lower, mid, and upper slope. So when we harvest these samples, we'll be able to get an average of the 3, but we'll also be able to pick out and say, compare the lower slope, middle slope, and upper slope to see if there's any difference in grain quality or protein based on slope position. And the final set of plots we don't have signed, but basically the plots here basically got everything, Trivapro, Modus, but we applied 145 pounds of nitrogen sideband. So we're going to have the full meal deal, 145 pounds, 25, 10, 10, Modus Trivapro here. So this is getting the full meal deal at seeding. So just to compare that to top dressing.